في سكوادات قويه وتلعب باستراتيجيه وبطريقه لعب تخليك تاخذ الفوز بسهوله، ومع الوقت ان شاء الله تلاقي نفسك في مستوى جيد يخليك تنافس في بطولات شركه وتأهل، وعلاش لا ما تكونش في بطوله الليغا العربيه.
اوكي، قبل ما نساليو من هذا الجزء مازال عندي معك اسئله اخرين عطاوهم لنا اللاعبين ديالنا على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي، غنجاوبوا عليها انا وياك. واش انت واجد؟
واجد.
السؤال الاول، شكون هو اللاعب المنافس لك على الام في بي في الراي ديالك؟
الصراحه باش نشوف سكوادات المنافسه ما نقدرش نشوف واحد منافس ليا قد ما نشوف ابو كرم واللي هو لاعب موجود معايا في سكواد، لانه كل ماتش وكل جيم نلعبوا في بطوله شركه نكون انا وياه قريبين من بعضنا في الكيلات وفي الاسيست، وتقريبا هو الشخص اللي نشوفه انا الوحيد اللي يقدر ينافسنا على الام في بي.
السؤال الثاني، شنو هو النوع ديال الهاتف اللي كتلعب به؟
نلعب بايفون 12 برو ماكس.
السؤال الاخير، شنو هما اهم الحوايج اللي كديرهم قبل ما تدخل البطوله؟
الصراحه ما نعملش اشياء معينه، لكن في العاده ندخل وضع تدريب انا وسكوادي قبل بساعه ساعتين من الماتش تاع الليغا او الماتش تاع البطوله، باش نتعود شويه على مسكه الهاتف، نتعود شويه على اللعب، ومن بعد ندخلوا الهاند كام وندخلوا نلعبوا الماتش عادي.
اوكي، شكرا لك على الاجابات ديالك والوقت ديالك، شكرا لكم بزاف اللاعبين ديالنا المحترفين، كنتمنى لك المزيد من الحظ والعطاء، وشكرا لكم، وكنتمنى من الناس اللي كتفرجوا في الحلقه ديال اليوم يديروا لنا الدعم لهذا اللاعب المحترف على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. نشوفكم ان شاء الله في مقابله حصريه قادمه مع لاعب محترف جديد. سيو، مع السلامه. المقابله الحصريه مع افضل لاعب في بطوله سوبر ستارز. اليوم ان شاء الله غادي نتعرفوا على اللاعب ديالنا اكثر وغنتقربوا منه اكثر باسئله اللي غنطرحوها عليه وغنسمعوا الاجوبه. نمروا للسؤال الاول على بركه الله.
Quadra kill, dominating, unstoppable, killing spree.
اول سؤال غادي نطرحه عليك هو كيفاش كتحس وانتيا افضل لاعب؟
اوكي. شعور عادي، لانه كيف ما تعرفوا في اخر ليغا كنت انا الام في بي، يعني مش حاجه جديده عليا اني نجيب ام في بي في البطوله نتاع شركه، وشعور عادي يعني كما كل لاعبين.
هادشي زوين بزاف. وقبل ما ندخل معاك في التفاصيل بغيتك تعاود لنا القصه ديالك، وامتى بديتي اللعب ديال فري فاير، وشكون هو الشخص اللي خلاك تبدا تلعب فري فاير؟
بالنسبه لوقتاش بديت نلعب فري فاير سنه 2018 ولا تقريبا 2019، في اوائل 2019. والشخص اللي خلاني نبدا هذه اللعبه هو ابن خالتي، يعني وقتها كان هو يلعبها وحفزني اني نحملها على الهاتف ونبدا نلعب فيها.
اليوم كنشوفك من احسن اللاعبين المحترفين في سيرفر مينا. بغيت نسولك شنو هو الهدف ديالك وشنو هو الحلم ديالك، وشكون اللي دعمك باش توصل لهذا الشيء كامل، باش تستمر وتحقق هذا الحلم ديالك؟
بالنسبه للهدف تاعي، علاش لا ما يكونش موجوده سكواد من سيرفر في يوم من الايام كاس عالم، يعني علاش ما مش سكواد من سيرفر مينا يتاهلوا ويوصلوا للنهائيات ويكونوا توب 1 ويرفعوا كاس العالم تاع لعبه فري فاير. وبالنسبه للي الشخص اللي يدعم فيا في مسيرتي في اللعبه، هي امي، ويعني هي دائما تحفزني اني نكمل نلعب ونواصل. وحتى نحقق الفوز ديما ممكن.
اوكي، بغيت نعاود نسولك شنو هما التحديات اللي واجهتيها في الرحله ديالك وكيفاش حتى تغلبتي عليها؟
الصراحة صعب انك توصل للهدف بسهولة كبيرة، لانه يعني تلعب ضد لاعبين محترفين وعندهم خبرة في اللعبة، يعني مش اي واحد عادي. لكن وقت اللي تتدرب وتلعب يوم بعد يوم وتكون موجود انت وفريقك وتلعب ضد سكوادات قوية وتتدربوا وتتعاونوا بشوية بشوية، يعني شيء يصبح سهل. ومع الوقت يعني ومع التدريب آه، طريق الفوز يصبح سهل وتحقق مراكز اولى وخلاص.
سؤالي الاخر، شنو هو الدور اللي لعبوا مجتمع الرياضات الالكترونيه في النجاح ديالك وكيفاش تقدر ترد الجميل لهذا المجتمع اللي كيدعمك؟
صراحة مجتمع فري فاير حفزني باش نكمل نقدم أكثر، وفي المقابل ليهم باش نكمل نواصل نأثر في الناس ونحفزهم على تطوير نفسهم في لعبة فري فاير.
كيفاش كتعامل مع الضغط والمنافسه في المباريات اللي تيكونوا صعاب بزاف؟ وشنو هي الاستراتيجيات اللي كتخدم بها وكيفاش كتحافظ على التركيز ديالك وكيفاش كتقدر تقدم احسن مباراه؟
الصراحة مع الوقت ومع انك تبقى تلعب كثير في بطولات الشركة، يعني شيء يولي عادي، ما تبقاش تستريسا ولا تحس نفسك في شيء مش عادي. يعني تلعب ليغا 2 3 من بعدها يصير لك شيء عادي، ومع سكوادك ومع التحفيزات مع انك تلعب مع مجموعة يعني تكون تلعب مرتاح ومش في هذاك الضغط الكبير، وتقدم مستوى جميل وترضي المتابعين.
اوكي، سؤال اخر، شنو هما الحوايج اللي تقدر تنصحنا بهم والحيل اللي كتعرفها اللي تقدر تعاوننا في لعبه فري فاير؟
بالنسبة للحيل اللي نقدر نساعد بها في لعبة فري فاير، هي أول شيء لازم أنك تلعب من غير خوف، تلعب بأريحية وبطريقة أنك مش تسكر على نفسك، يعني تلعب مرتاح تساعد فريقك يساعدك، وأهم شيء التعاون والتواصل بين الفريق، وهذا هو.
آه،
علاش لا ما يكونش موجوده سكواد من سيرفر مفتوح يوم من الايام كاس عالم؟ يعني علاش ما مش سكواد من سيرفر منا يتاهلوا ويوصلوا للنهائيات ويكونوا توب 1 ويرفعوا كاس العالم تاع لعبه فري فاير. وبالنسبه للي الشخص اللي يدعم فيا في مسيرتي في اللعبه، هي امي، ويعني هي دائما تحفزني اني نكمل نلعب ونواصل وحتى نحقق الفوز ديما ممكن.
اوكي، بغيت نعاود نسولك شنو هما التحديات اللي واجهتيها في الرحله ديالك وكيفاش حتى تغلبتي عليها؟
الصراحة صعب انك توصل للهدف بسهولة كبيرة، لانه يعني تلعب ضد لاعبين محترفين وعندهم خبرة في اللعبة، يعني مش اي واحد عادي. لكن وقت اللي تتدرب وتلعب يوم بعد يوم وتكون موجود انت وفريقك وتلعب ضد سكوادات قوية وتتدربوا وتتعاونوا بشوية بشوية، يعني شيء يصبح سهل. ومع الوقت يعني ومع التدريب آه، طريق الفوز يصبح سهل وتحقق مراكز اولى وخلاص.
سؤالي الاخر، شنو هو الدور اللي لعبوا مجتمع الرياضات الالكترونيه في النجاح ديالك وكيفاش تقدر ترد الجميل لهذا المجتمع اللي كيدعمك؟
صراحة مجتمع فري فاير حفزني باش نكمل نقدم أكثر، وفي المقابل ليهم باش نكمل نواصل نأثر في الناس ونحفزهم على تطوير نفسهم في لعبة فري فاير.
كيفاش كتعامل مع الضغط والمنافسه في المباريات اللي تيكونوا صعاب بزاف؟ وشنو هي الاستراتيجيات اللي كتخدم بها وكيفاش كتحافظ على التركيز ديالك وكيفاش كتقدر تقدم احسن مباراه؟
الصراحة مع الوقت ومع انك تبقى تلعب كثير في بطولات الشركة، يعني شيء يولي عادي، ما تبقاش تستريسا ولا تحس نفسك في شيء مش عادي. يعني تلعب ليغا 2 3 من بعدها يصير لك شيء عادي، ومع سكوادك ومع التحفيزات مع انك تلعب مع مجموعة يعني تكون تلعب مرتاح ومش في هذاك الضغط الكبير، وتقدم مستوى جميل وترضي المتابعين.
اوكي، سؤال اخر، شنو هما الحوايج اللي تقدر تنصحنا بهم والحيل اللي كتعرفها اللي تقدر تعاوننا في لعبه فري فاير؟
بالنسبة للحيل اللي نقدر نساعد بها في لعبة فري فاير، هي اول شيء لازم انك تلعب من غير خوف، تلعب بأريحية وبطريقة انك مش تسكر على نفسك، يعني تلعب مرتاح، تساعد فريقك، فريقك يساعدك، واهم شيء التعاون والتواصل بين الفريق، وهذا هو.
تقدر تقول لنا شنو هو المستقبل ديال الرياضات الالكترونيه اللي كتشوفو نتايا، وكيفاش كتخيل انه غادي يتطور من هنا لقدام؟
نتخيل مستقبل الرياضات الإلكترونية ماشي يتطور بزيادة، لأنه كيف ما نشوفوا يعني البطولات الإي سبورتس كيفاش بشوي بشوي يعني تتقدم وتزيد تتعرف أكثر، ويعني هذا هو مستقبل زاهر بالنسبة للعبة فري فاير، خاطر ما زالت قاعدة تقدم كل سنة بطولة عالم، وكل سنة بطولات جديدة، منها بطولات أول ستارز وبطولات قارات وبطولة آسيا، وهذا هو.
اخر حاجه نقدر نسولك هي شنو هي النصيحه اللي تقدر تقدمها للاعبين المحترفين اللي كيكونوا طموحين بزاف باش يتبعوا الخطوات ديالك، وشنو يقدر لهم يديروا باش يحققوا النجاح في عالم الرياضات الالكترونيه اللي كيكون فيها تنافس بزاف؟
نقدم النصيحة للسكوادات اللي تحب توصل للليغا وتحب تقدم في بطولات الشركة. أول حاجة تعمل سكواد، تدخل في تدريب وتواصل على اللعب اليومي المتواصل باش أنك تقدم مستوى وتقدر تنافس سكوادات قوية، وتلعب باستراتيجية وبطريقة لعب تخليك تاخذ الفوز بسهوله، ومع الوقت ان شاء الله تلاقي نفسك في مستوى جيد يخليك تنافس في بطولات شركه وتاهل، وعلاش لا ما تكونش في بطوله الليغا العربيه.
اوكي، قبل ما نساليو من هذا الجزء مازال عندي معك اسئله اخرين عطاوهم لنا اللاعبين ديالنا على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي، غنجاوبوا عليها انا وياك. واش انت واجد؟
واجد.
السؤال الاول، شكون هو اللاعب المنافس لك على الام في بي في الراي ديالك؟
الصراحه باش نشوف سكوادات المنافسه ما نقدرش نشوف واحد منافس ليا قد ما نشوف ابو كرم.
And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry due to the sound difficulties. But yes, I am here now and welcome over to the Free Fire Superstar. My name is Abstract and I'm going to be your caster for today's games. So, of course, we're gonna have a quick little rundown as to what exactly you guys should be expecting for today's superstar and how things are going to be working out for today, especially as well as who are the teams that are going to be coming in to fight against one another. We'll get ourselves into that in quite a jiffy, but don't worry about that as we will definitely get our way in pretty fast, right? So we have a total of 6 games to be played today, and we do have quite some of these teams that will be fighting against one another, which we should definitely know some of these, right? We have Stars DZ that is from Algeria. We have Police from Egypt. We have Legend Max from Morocco, as Tunisia, as well as Algeria. So it's really a three-pronged attack coming in from Legends Max. We got Nakazaki Esports, definitely a very familiar name from Algeria. We have Savage from Syria as well as Algeria. We got Nakazaki Juniors from Algeria. We got Olympia Police from Origin Egypt. We've got Alpha from Algeria, Miracles from Morocco, Wask. This is definitely a team that you guys would want to look out for. They are from Morocco, Dictators from Tunisia, and La Campora that is from Morocco. So all of these teams will be fighting out against one another in a total of 6 games. And how are they going to be fighting out against one another? That is definitely the one thing that we should be looking out for. Now, when it comes down
بطولة
to
سوبر
the
ستار
teams that
مقسمة
we
إلى
were
قسمين.
talking about,
سوبر ستار
this
الفئة
is
الأولى
what we would want to look out for, right? Infinity VX, Alpha, Shift, Miracles. A lot of these teams are going to be going against one another, and most of these players came from the All-Star teams, All-Star games, while some of them comes in from Season 6 itself. As I said before, 6 games in total. We'll be jumping in from one map into the other, and we are not going to be taking too long as we just kind of swiftly snap in from one after another. So, of course, let's not forget, I can't read that as much as I want to, keep up with the original production. I'm not able to really, get things through and really help you guys understand a little bit more about that. But it's in your language as well, so it should be able to be done pretty neatly for you guys. It should be able to be there pretty nicely. And of course, one thing's for sure is that you guys know that I am doing this alone as well. So I do not have a co-caster with me. It's all entirely by myself. So I would love to be able to interact with every single one of you guys. If you guys do know how to speak English, please feel free to use the comment section over at the other side. And of course, just shout it out over to me. I would love to read some of your messages and as well as to understand who is here as well. All right, huge shout out over to Garina as well as 10 and 8 knee play. So it really just comes down to them that they approached me, and I really have that opportunity to work with them regarding this superstar, Free Fire superstar. Right. Otherwise, without further ado, we'll definitely jump right into the game whenever the players are ready. And of course, if you guys want to find out a little bit more about the points distribution, it is pretty much understandable how the point distribution is going to go and work, right? When it comes down to the Booyah, we're going to be dropping them a total of 12 points, followed by second place, all the way down to the bottom is 9 to 0. So it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, 0. So the 12th place as well as the 11th place, they wouldn't be able to get themselves any placement points whatsoever. Every single kill that they get is going to get themselves and net themselves a total of 1 point. So with that all said and done, we are jumping right in and take a look at the total cash prizes coming out for this, right? First place is going to get themselves a total of $5,000, followed by $3,000 and $1,500 for first place to third place respectively. From that point on, fourth place and fifth place gets themselves $700, sixth and seventh with $500, eighth and ninth, and all the way through until the 12th place, they will all get to $100. So coming into Free Fire Superstar is going to guarantee them a good amount of cash. And not to forget, whenever you have the MVP team, you're going to get yourself $100 on top of that as well. So we've got a lot that's just going to be tossed around here and there, and the teams are definitely going to be incentivized in every single map that they play in order to get themselves the MVP. Even if they were to find themselves in the lower parts of the game, they are still going to be expecting a good amount of cash flow jumping and flying over to them. Now, I don't have much to cover as when it comes down to all of that. Of course, once we get the scenes rolling out, I will be able to tell you guys a little bit more about that. But of course, I would like to give a huge shout out also to all the other viewers out there. We've got Kona as well as Gummy Bear. Hello, welcome to the stream, and I really appreciate every single one of these comments. If you guys have got any more, feel free to pump it right down onto the chat, and I'll be looking forward to seeing all of that. Right. And moving on through, right? I would also would love to find out a little bit more about what you guys are expecting from this entire Free Fire Superstar, because I believe that when it comes down to the Free Fire Superstar 2023, is pretty much happening in the MEA region. Every single one of these players from the Middle East as well as the Africa coming together with one another. This is definitely huge, right? Because the main thing is that we are coming in from Division 1 and Division 2, with the top 12 coming in from the Arab League Season 6. And not to forget, when it comes down to the Division 2, we've got 13th to the 17th from the Arab League Season 6. So they gotta have to fight it all the way out and really to get themselves closer and closer over to the grand finals today. Because we've got the play-ins that was eventually fought in the 5th to the... it was the play-ins, right, on the March of 11th, and from that point onwards, we had a total of 6 games, and only the top 4 eventually advanced over to the grand finals. And from that point on, it really managed to help them, kind of sift things out, because Division 1, Division 2, they all have 4 teams in total. So 4 teams from Division 2, 4 teams from Division 1, and then another 4 teams coming in from the play-ins. So that is going to net us a total of 12 teams. With all of these 12 fighting against one another is going to be a tough fight. The champion coming in from the Freefire Superstar 2023, of course, is going to be qualifying for the Southeast Asia Invitational 2023, and that is definitely coming in really quickly, because it will be coming in, of course, replacing the World Series in summer for 2023. So instead of looking at the Freefire World Series, we have the Freefire Sea Invitationals instead, and this time it is going to be held in Thailand again. Freefire World Series, the most recent one did happen in Thailand. So from that point on, we are definitely going to be really excited as to how we are going to be watching things from that point onwards. All right. Now, I do want to have a quick little run through regarding the teams that have been playing here before, and it really helps us really understand how all of these teams play against one another. But before that, a quick little rundown as to what are the teams that we should be expecting today, and of course, who are playing for today. When it comes down to Alpha, we have Remind, we have Ghazi, G18, as well as Abu Karam. Now, Remind sounds very familiar, so I'm not too sure if whether it's going to be the same players or not, but Nakazaki Esports is what I definitely want to look out for when we have ZH, Monster, Larry, and Muatil. I'm sorry if I pronounce the names wrongly, but I definitely would want to try my very best regarding that. All right, we've got Olympia Police, and of course we are representing Olympia Police. We have Islam, RA2D, Cortezman, JRD, or Jordi, right? Jordi in this case. Miracles, we got Aminos, Campos, Naklong, Ahmed. Star ZZ, we got Nasrox, ASAP, Cfox, as well as Y4. As for police, we've got Light, Greenyo, Hercules, as well as Narcos. Now, these are definitely the first 6 teams that comes in from Division 1. As for the next team that we are going to be looking out for now, it is going to be Legend Max. And this is the ones that have Nakazaki Juniors. As such, they all come from Division 2. With Legend Max, we got 7 Armor, Hip Hop, HLGN, and Mo 7 ARB. Wask, we've got Ali, Dowley, Genius, and Bingo. Ali, Dowley, and Genius have been in Wask for the longest time ever, so I'm definitely not surprised that they are in this roster and ready to rip havoc throughout the entire lobby. As for Nakazaki Juniors, we have Meta, Pixel, Enjoy, and Ricardo. La Camora, we do have Bayu, Y8, Ya7Ya, we've got Kratos, as well as Ninja. Savages, we've got Victor, King, Bosama, Big Boss as well. As for the final team, I can't exactly see what was the final team, unfortunately. But if I remember correctly, it is... well, I can't exactly tell which team that was. but we will just definitely jump in there and we'll be able to understand a little bit better. Now, of course, when it comes down to the... Why is my voice? Okay, there we go. Sorry. When it comes down to the point distribution, of course, once I said before, once you get yourself the Booyah, you'll get yourself a total of 12 points, and all the way from that point onwards, 9 to 0. 11th and 12th gets 0 points, while the every single kills will be able to net them a total of 1 point. So from that point onwards, it really boils down to how the players would want to play for themselves and how they want to play against the enemies. If they would want to work with a aggressive start all the way at the start, or do they want to get a little bit more aggressive closer over to the end? And from that point onwards, it would be able to be a lot more conclusive with how the point system rolls out and how each of these players will want to play around in the closer to the end game. If it's going to be loud, it's going to be proud. If it's going to be fast, that's what we are looking out for. But of course, the map rotation, what we are going to be expecting is going to be Bermuda first. And as for how the games usually go for, and I believe that the screen previously shows, we're going to be playing in Bermuda first, followed by Kalahari, and then Purgatory. But then, when it comes down to the second cycle, we're looking at Bermuda, Kalahari again. But the last map is going to be unknown. It doesn't seem like we know or not if whether it's going to be Purgatory, but it could very possibly be Alpine. Alpine has joined into the map pool for quite some time already. So when Alpine joins in, it kind of seems as though there is a lot of difficulty for some of these players. At least that is what we thought. They are going to have some difficulties playing around, and if whether they are going to be used to Alpine or not. But it doesn't seem to be that case, to be honest. It kind of seems as though they are working very well and they know exactly how they would want to play, right? When it comes down to Bermuda, players are generally going to be super close to one another. When it comes down to hot drops, doesn't seem like they have one. They do have, however, places that they personally would want to go. They have an idea how they would want to play, and they have an idea how they would want to move from one place to another and where they want to start. And from that point onwards, it gives us the best understanding as to if whether they're going to be lucky or not. And from that point onwards, that will be where the fun begins. Of course, I would love to be able to be on the broadcast together with the other two gentlemen over there, but unfortunately, I only know English, so I will be on myself on this end, and I will be delivering you guys all the English content instead, as they have a grand control, and of course, they really have a very good idea what they're doing when it comes down to Freefire. I watch them also, although I don't quite understand, but they do conduct themselves very well. I absolutely love to watch their broadcasts, especially when it comes down to their hype as well. The hype is definitely something that will get me on top of my feet, and I super love it, to be very honest. So huge shout out over to the commentators, over to the main channel. All the best over to you guys, and hopefully one day we'll be able to work with one another. I don't know if that will ever be the case. I mean, the MEA region Superstar Grand Finals today. This is where we crown the champions, and today is where we are going to be watching every single one of these players duke out against one another. Understandably, I would say that the favorites of today is going to be Wask, right? They have a very strong name, they really know what they're doing, and when it comes down to fights, they are very decisive as to how they would want to play. But without further ado, let us just jump right in and take a look at the game all together and work with what we have. All right, so super excited to see how it's going to be working out, as we, right off the bat, we are starting to see all the players just going to be jumping together with one another and just going to be heading their way. But before that, let me test something real quickly, but it doesn't seem like I am getting much of the in-game sounds, but we'll get to that as soon as I can. That is if we are able to get any sound into the broadcast as much as possible, but I don't think that, oh, okay, there we go. We do have sounds going in, so that is absolutely perfect. But for now, it's all about this initial fight that is going to look pretty darn good. As for now, Ninja, they're just going to be jumping their way over to the northwestern part of the map, and they have a very good idea how they're going to be working with. They do not have anyone that is going to be around the vicinity, and they're just going to be working their way from the top all the way to the bottom as much as possible. However, it kind of seems as though we have another team that is unfortunately not alone. Legend Max, they are just right around the corner, and it kind of seems as though they have company. And this company, boy oh boy, they are not going to be playing around. Savages, they are the one that is here to rumble, and they are heading their way over to the opponent's ends as much as they can. Not an easy fight if you ask me. They're going to have to work their way across when it comes down to being in the mill. Mill is very close to the riverside, and I would believe that teams can actually come in pretty fast, pretty quickly. But King, he does have the VSS. But with that all said and done, 7 Armor takes a quick little hop over to the ceiling and right onto the roof. He does have the superior high ground advantage, and he will be able to just get himself in a very good spot. But Victor, it kind of seems as though he's at one part of the ridge. As long as he were to go up higher and higher, they should be able to spot 7 Armor just around the corner. the entirety of Savages. They're looking to reposition themselves as much as possible and trying to get themselves in the best spot possible. And from that point onwards, it's definitely going to be able to get them in a better spot. As Victor, right at the top of the ridge. He does have a very good idea as to where the rest of the members from the side of Legend is. But this is going to be tough as a couple of them are going to be taking in contact. Victor does have a pretty good spot, so really much going to be looking forward to how that is going to work. As unfortunately, that is going to be the time turn that's going to be popped. No one is going to be interfering with any of those fights with 200 members from the side of Savages as well as Legends going down. But King was hoping that he will be able to get himself in a closer point of view, but that is not going to work. It's going to be 1 against 2 at this point in time. Mason is all alone, but it kind of seems as though he did manage to come right in and completely bring down the members from the side of Savages. And with that all said and done, Legend Max did not lose a single member from their side. Yes, they had a couple of casualties, but it is not quite enough to bring the entire team down. Not a single one of them was able to get a single point at all. They didn't go for any form of executes. They just went through. But here we go. Miracles. He is just going to be working his way. Camp is all alone and Wasp came right into the action and it managed to take a quick one on top of the members. And this is going to be Wasp in a grand slate. They do have a lot of ammunition as well as very good weapons that is just going to be working their way with this quick little drop. Dowley as well as Zyzox making their way over to their other teammates. This is definitely going to be a huge boost in efforts as it makes its way back over to GDS. With the game still going on high, with 4 minutes and 25 seconds into the game already, one team is already out. The teams have to play cautiously. They have to practice caution as much as possible. When it comes down to the playing area, they definitely do not want to be absorbed by the storm, and getting themselves most amount of materials is understandably going to be the best. But unfortunately, we don't really quite have a lot of information as to where the other teams were. But one thing's for sure, we do have Legends Max that did manage to win their fight over at Mill, and they're gonna be heading their way over to the western part of the map. And to head themselves over to the western side, Riverside is where things are going to be. Heading over to Riverside, or perhaps going down south over to Bimasati Strip is understandably gonna be a very good spot to be at. Bimasati Strip, notably, is gonna be in the center of the map. And being in the center is going to give quite a lot of attention. It's either or kind of situation, right? It's kind of like a damned if you do or damned if you don't kind of moment. It's either you make your way over to the Bimasati Strip to get yourself the advantage when it comes down to getting into the center, where you will be able to gatekeep the other players. Or you head over there and it's a little bit too late. And there's another team that's already along the strip of the Bimasati. It will be tough. However, it will be worth it if they do manage to find that right opportunity to do so. Wasp. They do have a single kill to their name, but they are not exactly looking out for kills. They're not heading out whatsoever. They're really just hanging around in the building and waiting for the opportunities to do so. But heading down the ridge, it kind of seems as though it's going to be one of their game plans. Playing cautiously is what they're going to work on. In the meantime, with the map popping out, we have a very good idea as to where everyone else is. As we do have the clock tower that is not really occupied, but in between of clock tower as well as Bimasati Strip, there lies Nagasaki Jr. And towards the western part of them, right at the top of Hangar, there is going to be a single team. And remember how we talked about the Bimasati Strip? Yes, there is a team that is inside of Bimasati Strip after all. Well, we have one team over at the southwestern part of the current circle. They're gonna have to make their way over to the newer circle real soon, as they're just kind of hanging around in the center of Peak Factory as well as Pochnok. The only best way that they can head over is to probably play around Peak. The Peak is, well, the Peak it is. There is high ground advantage when it comes down to the top of that ridge. The higher that they go, they should be able to find a lot more players with the bird's eye view that they have managed to get for themselves. But crossing the bridge, apparently, police actually made their way over to Sentosa. But this is the first level storm. It is not gonna be that big of a deal for them for now. There's not a lot of damage that they can be that they will receive. It's not a lot of work that I can say that is going to work out for them. As the rest of the game moves on, with 7 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game, or rather 7 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, we've got Ninja that came in with the rest of his team. But look at this. Police! They kind of seem as though they have came in over to a firing squad. It doesn't seem like things are going to be working very well for them, as Yasser is just going to be joining right into the face, right into the thick of it, and immediately brought down the entirety of police. Police, that is really unfortunate, right? When it comes down to moving from one place to another, that is where you are most vulnerable. And this is pretty much understandable. We do not have a lot of ways that you can pretty much transport yourself from one place to another. The best way to really get yourself on the run while being safe is really just to have Misha's afterburner part of your passives. And as you can see, a lot of these players do have that. Yo-Yo, he have the afterburner in there. That is one of the best ways that you can really guarantee your safety to get yourself from places to places. Even Ratu D is it. It is all about the meta game. The meta of Afterburner is just a little bit too important to be neglected. As long as they are able to get themselves from to be safe within a vehicle, getting themselves less damaged out, a firing squad is not gonna do too much to them. As such, what they can pretty much do is just make their way over to the center of the map. Do not take too much time on the road, and that way they should be able to play in a pretty safe spot. With the airdrops coming in, blocking a couple of spaces, that would be great. But the watchtower where Nakazaki Juniors is, this is actually a pretty good spot if you ask me. Right now, all the way at the southern part, they will be gatekeeping the southern region. And as long as they stay there for a little while longer, they're going to be playing for a little while longer. The strongholds aren't going to be holding much. I don't think that much of the players are going to be playing around the bunkers, actually. But Nakazaki Juniors, they're in a pretty good spot. They are really in a pretty good spot. The spot that they have chosen, the watchtower that they are at, is right at the edge, at the southern part of the circle. And this southern region of the circle is going to be a pretty good spot, but it does seem like Dictators, they also have an eye on Nakazaki Juniors. But unfortunately for Nakazaki Juniors, this is not exactly a way that they will be able to flush out the rest of the members from inside the Dictators. Because right in the northern side, they already have a couple of buildings that they will be able to rest refuge in. Just exposing themselves like that is not going to be that big of a deal. Nakazaki Juniors is just not too interested in opening fire against the members from the Southern Dictators. But take a look at that shot. Meta finds himself knocked down already. And even with the time turner, they would want to ensure their safety for as long as they can. The storm is slowly closing in, but the amount of sounds that Dictators have been shooting out is definitely going to draw quite a bit of attention. And indeed, attention is what they have gotten for themselves. Because right now, we have one team that is just going to be right onto their end. And this is not going to be easy to play around with. Because Miracles, boy oh boy, Miracles. We got Aminos Campos, Knock Knock, as well as Ahmed that is pretty much ready to dive into the action and ready to bring down their opponents. They do have a rock formation, a huge little boulder to really work for themselves. But that was an amazing shot coming from Yasir. He did manage to bring one person down, but Nakazaki Jr. strikes back as they manage to get a single headshot down onto Yasir. And of course, a quick little revive is definitely gonna do the trick. But where's the rest of the members from Nakazaki Juniors? Are they still gonna be holding back themselves onto the watchtower? Are they going to be staying around the area? Because Miracles, they gotta have to make their way in real soon. They're completely being gate-capped by the members of Dictators. But it doesn't seem like they are the only one. Wask, they are joining into the party as well. this is where things are starting to get sweaty. This is where things are definitely going to get a little bit more exciting, as Karam did manage to get a knockdown on the hip hop on the other side of the map, while Osman, he wants to get himself away from the garage, and he just gets himself closer and closer over to the side of victory. But with the members of WASP just joining right in, they don't really have a lot of safety avenues and safety nets to work around with. All Dowley can really do is just chuck a couple of grenades with the grenade launcher as much as possible and just bring down the glue walls as fast as possible as well. But he's definitely not gonna stay alive for long, as Yasir joins into the battle, trying to knock down a couple of these glue walls. But after a quick shot of these glue walls, one after another, the glue walls keep coming up. Miracles, they have joined into the party as well. Dictators, they are going on a rampage with a total of 6 kills. He was hoping that he will be able to mount through the windows, but that doesn't seem like to be the case, as he's just going to be knocked right down. Irir was hoping that the glue wall will be able to do quite a lot of them, but Dictator is just going to be knocked down with a total of 6 kills to their name. While Miracle Campos, he almost went down until now. Never mind, because he still went down. He definitely would not be able to pick Campos up anymore. As such, Miracle has managed to survive this entire ordeal with only 2 members left onto their side. Nagasaki Esports, they held their ground for the longest time ever, and they wanted to play as safe as they can for the entire time. But do note, there is still vending machines, there are still revivals, right? No more revival points, but there are vending machines. As such, WASC have managed to credit themselves into the vending machines and have managed to buy back 2 of their members. With that full squad from the side of WASC, they are going to be a tough nut to crack. Miracles, we've only left with 2 members, and they are not in a very good spot either. They are holding themselves down on the electrical towers, and the first thing that they find is going to be Nagasaki Juniors. As all across the map, we're starting to see members and players just going to be trifling themselves and just going to be watching themselves going down and down and down. Alpha, they do have a total of 2 kills. They have all 4 members. A full squad of members from the side of Alpha. They did manage to spot out where Dowley is. They managed to spot out Miracles as well. Miracles and WASC. Both of them has been taken down. Unable to do much. This is starting to look like their downfall. As Monai was hoping that he'll be able to do something about this. But ZH, together with the rest of the members of Nagasaki Esports, they're just hoping that they'll be able to grind their way through things. With a total of 6 teams that is currently still available in this current map. They'll be playing this out with a dime in the center. It almost seems like a dime is in the center right now, based on the play area. With only 2 members left from Alpha, make that 3. A couple of them were knocked down, but it doesn't seem like that is going to be a big little issue. Olympia Police kind of seems as though they have a very good position. Unfortunately, they are at the bottom part of the ridge, and I'm not too sure whether that is going to be too good for them. Because understandably, members and players at the top part of the ridge is going to get themselves a good amount of high ground, and high ground is where you want to be. That is where you mostly will be able to get yourself a lot of cover. While at the bottom of the ridge, you don't have a lot of cover to work around with. You'll just eventually be able to show your entire body, while the players at the top of the ridge will only show their heads. Not a lot to work around with. Alpha finds themselves going to be the last 4.
Triple kill.
They're working their way around, and Alpha
Triple kill.
doesn't seem like they will be able to play around with this. Olympia Police is going to be one of the 3 teams that's just going to be left. All 4 members is still going to be alive, as they are eventually going to be making their way through things. They're just going to be melting on the rest of the side, but now is going to be left with Yo-Yo as well as RA2D. The 2 of these members are going to be left alone. Where are the other 2? It kind of seems like Stars on the opposite end, and Nagasaki Jr. is going to be a little bit tougher of not to track down. Stars D2, Sifu finds himself taken down ASAP, as well as Y4 is going to be the last 2 members left. It kind of seems as though it's a 2v1 now. It's going to be 2v1, as Nagasaki Jr. has been eliminated. The police is going to be the last man remaining. RA2D, he's left alone. He did manage to get a quarter kill all by himself. but it's gonna be fighting against these two members that's hiding behind the electrical towers. How exactly is this going to be working out for him? As the time is running out, doesn't have any glue walls, doesn't have any grenade, nothing at all. No storm grenades, no flat grenades, no flashes. As he just waits for the storm to eventually flush him out. He was hoping that he'll be able to play around the circumference, run around the circumference, but with only 70 HP left, he wasn't able to do quite much. And Olympia, Blaze Olympia finds himself taken down. And we have the first team that has popped themselves up on top, and that is going to be them. Congratulations. This is an amazing game, I gotta have to say. Stars, DZ, ASAP, Nasrock, Seafox, as well as Yasser, they knew what they wanted to do, and they have a very good idea how they wanted to get from one place to another, and they played their game pretty darn well. They don't have a lot of kills on their end, but regardless, they still have got themselves the booyah. Do note the booyah itself is going to credit them a total of 12 points, and that 12 points plays a massive role, as we are going to jump right into the highlights. So take this moment in time and enjoy.
Double kill.
Realizing that my microphone was muted the entire time, I really need to get used to the production side, but I apologize for all of that. All right, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Productions is on my side. I'm not used to that. But I do want to say that the entire game was absolutely great. When it comes down to Nakazaki Juniors, they were at the bottom part of the ridge for the longest time ever, and they wasn't able to find a proper way to get themselves higher part of the ridge. And from that point on, they lost control when it comes down to firepower. Because anything else, when it comes down to the top of the ridge, that is where you would want to find yourself in the best positions to start things off. So, without further ado, when game 1 is already done, we'll move on over to game 2 and watch out for the teams. So, a quick little understanding when it comes down to the current map here and Purgatory, okay? We're not going over to Kalahari, we're going up to Purgatory first, alright? So, Purgatory with the flight path starting from the northern side all the way down to the southern side. The players are, of course, each of these teams very likely have got an idea where they want to go. Police is going to be finding themselves in the moat house. This is a very familiar sight, and this is quite a sight to see if you ask me. Well, we do have a couple of teams that's going to the southern island, and some of the others is going to be onto the western island. Well, the main island in Brasilia, we have a couple of teams in there, but not too much. But right off the bat, right at the top of Southern Brigade, Southern Brigade, right at the top of the Fire Brigade, we already have a couple of fights going on. Nagasaki Juniors have immediately found themselves in a quick little fight, and that have managed to bring them a total of 1 kill. Miracles is going to be at the unfortunate end of that. Police, apparently, they are also at a very bad spot, as Light finds himself completely knocked out by Othman. That is 1 player down. 1 point over to Dictators. Dictators, this team is probably a team that we should be watching out for as well. So as we refer over to the other division games, when it comes down to the play-ins, Dictators, even though they didn't get themselves a single booyah, but they found themselves in the top 4 regardless, right below of La Camora, losing out only at 4 points. But regardless, the 4 teams, Savages, Wask, La Camora, as well as Dictators, they are well above the rest of the lobby, alright? Above of Nitro, which is at 59 points, Infinity VX, that is at 59 points as well. So when it comes down to consistency, Dictators, they are there. While Police, this team, they are one of the top dogs when it comes down to Division 2 as well. But I'm not exactly sure what is going on here, as Milano as well as Light, the both of them were completely away, and not to forget Narcos as well. Narcos is all the way away. Every single one of these members and every single one of these players, they are far away from one another, and they didn't seem to be playing with one another. So it kind of seems as though they started things off with a further point in mind. They don't really want to play around with each other too much at the start. Probably want to spread out and spread out thinly with how they want to play things, and just play things slowly, I suppose. Economy is probably what's going to be the first thing in their mind, and that is just not looking good at all. Now, Police in their Division 2 games, they did manage to get themselves a total of 2 booyahs, and that has led them a total of 203 points. 203! That's a lot of points. They are above of Legend Max as well as Nagasaki Juniors at 194 and 192 points respectively. Hercule from Police, it's not going to be holding down for long. Nagasaki Jr. have already kept him at bay. Every single one of these members is all around. Hercules, they've got nowhere to go. Not a lot of places to play around in. Dictators have even joined into the battle. Hercules finds himself down. KCH is understandably going to be taking this kill for himself. Or not. They're not going to go for the execution. They're actually going to be looking out for the other teammates. Either the other teammates or the aggressors. That's not going to work out too well, as there's so many fights going on in this prime area. This is a tough spot to play in, as it's pretty much understandable. Marble Works, a prime spot, with all of these teams just gathering with one another, hoping that they'll be able to stir up some trouble. That's what we are looking out for, not necessarily what we are hoping for. And the shots goes out. Tupac. Doesn't seem like he'll be able to land anything for now. Pixel just right around the corner, watching out for his blind spots. Well, Arier is all the way at the other side. He does have a bird's eye view on the second floor of the apartments that he's in. He can definitely spot out the members from Nagasaki Juniors. But for now, Dictators, they're playing it relatively slow. With 2 kills on their hands, they aren't too hasty. Until now, As the glue wall is just going to be dropped right in front of the face of Enjoy. Even the time turner was wasted. The time turner is not even used, unfortunately. He's going to find himself knocked down, and Yasser finds himself deleted. That is a bad push coming in from Dictators. Absolutely bad push. But Nagasaki Juniors, they're finding themselves refragged out as Tupac wasn't able to be there to really bring down the assistance onto Enjoy. With a quick little dash out and with a quick little glue wall to toss upon. He's currently looking for KCH. Quick little grenade ought to do a trick, or perhaps not. The storm is coming in as well. The level 1 storm is going to be tough to play around. Tupac decided to go in first, but it doesn't seem like he was able to save his fellow friend. As KCH now finds himself deleted. A rear over on the other side of the Marble Works. This place is an absolute chaos. It's a mayhem going on in here. As members are just playing along and just working their way through. Understandably, it's gonna be a tough game. I really do want to see how the rest of the players are working around here, right? Nagasaki Juniors with a total of 4 points. Let's take a look at how they have fought and how well they have been in the previous time, right? In Division 2, they have a total of 3 booyahs. Total of 3 booyahs. And 85 points when it comes down to the kills. They have 85 kill points. That is a lot. Division 2, they are literally a league above the others. Stars DZ at 288 points. Police at 203. Legend Max at 194. And Nagasaki Juniors that is at 192. Stars DZ, they are understandably the top dogs. They are the big guns in here. They won game 1. They got themselves the booyah in game 1. And that is going to put themselves right at the top of the leaderboards right off the start. And it's understandable why they have managed to do that. And it really boils down to the general strategy. They know how they want to play things and they have a very good idea of what their game plan is. And perhaps even the mechanics are just that strong. Savages, in terms of power rankings, they had to go in over to the play-ins. But yet, they still managed to get themselves at the top of the leaderboards on top of Wask. Yes, Savages, they did lose out in the Division 1 games. But all in all, they still got themselves the first place in the play-ins itself. And that is the most important thing, right? We have the top, we have the last 6 teams coming in from Division 2 as well as from Division 1. They joined up together in the play-ins and Savages find themselves at the top. Do note of this, alright? Wask finds themselves in 5th place in Division 1. Quite a bit of, they are short by quite a bit, right? About 23 points away from Nagasaki Esports in order to tally with them when it comes down to total points. But when it comes down to moving into the play-ins to play, they are short by quite a bit from Savages. So, this game, this Freefire Superstars 2023, could literally, quite literally, go to anyone right now. With a bird's eye view here in Purgatory, we've got Savages right in the center and probably just going to be in between of many of these teams. We've got Stars DZ at the western part of them. And it kind of seems as though we do have police, was it? I would believe is police. That is all the way at the northern part. In the meantime, Alpha gatekeeping against Miracles. The members from Miracles is not going to be making things easy at all. As we eventually work things out and just hoping that they will be able to play things through. but Victor. An army. They're just playing things around and just running down the lines. They're really trying their absolute best, I gotta have to say. But it's not gonna be an easy game to go around in. Eventually they'll find the rough spot, the tight spot. And speaking of spots, it kinda seems like Nagasaki Esports, they're going to be in part of a fight right now. As Bayou tosses a quick little grenade, as now Kratos just gonna be jumping himself right into the face of Nagasaki. He's not gonna be looking done good. Bayou as well as YA around, it was just kind of like pulling with his food. NAGN inside of the shed. He's looking right up to the ridge and hoping that he'll be able to work with something in here. But camp as well. They are all just fighting inside the shed. They're just waiting for that perfect point in time to really work against their enemies. The Nagasaki Esports, they find themselves to be the first team to be knocked out. They can't seem to be playing things out like that right now. But slowly but surely, they're just gonna be working their way in. Dictators have got a total of 8 kills for themselves, and this 8 kills is gonna be bringing them far ahead. They're still burning down by the storm. This storm burn is tough to work around with. As Camp immediately, as he tries to jump himself into the doors and into the building, they're just gonna be knocked down almost immediately. It's really unfortunate if you ask me, but a quick little grenade launcher ought to do the trick a little bit. G8L is gonna be the last member left from the side of Miracles, but not Miracles, but we do have Miracles gonna be knocked down as well. Legend Max is gonna be knocked down as well. There's just a huge amount of casualty. They're just going in and jumping into the combats. It doesn't seem like Dictators is going to go down anytime soon just yet. They have a total of 8 kills. Yasir and KCH, yes, they have been knocked down a couple of times, but they're doing a really good job. Savages finds themselves knocked down at number 6, with 5 more teams remaining onto the board. 5 more teams that is just going to be splat out, scattered all the way out as well. Dictators, 11 kills to their name. The kill leaders, they're going all the way through and hovering and bunkering and hunkering down. Only a couple of teams left. This will be a tough game to fight in. As the rear Dictators versus Stars. Stars doesn't have a lot of kill points for themselves, at least for now. But every single one of them has been relatively safe. But do note that the storm is closing in. 5 teams are still within of this storm. Stars, they may be able to get themselves the first win of the day, but is that going to be translating over to Game 2 as well? Game 2, as long as, remember, this is all about consistency. Wasp is still in this game. Othman did manage to get a really nice grenade launcher all on top of the opponents. Area as well as Othman, they have managed to off their opponents and neutralize the target. And just like that, Karam finds himself knocked down. Yasir, Wasp as well as Nasro. Everyone's just going to be dropping in really quickly. But teams itself not down yet until now. Star ZZ is going to be the first team out of the 5 to be eliminated, and the one that managed to get themselves the booyah and Game number 1 has already been destroyed. A kill spree everywhere. It's just gonna be going all around. Olympia eliminated, left with 2 teams, Wasp versus Dictators. Dictators have gotten themselves a grand amount of kills all in all. How about Wasp? They're just gonna be moving themselves on top of the opponents from the side of Dictators. It's not gonna be easy to play, as Zzox is gonna be one of the last few members left from the side of Wasp. But look at that firing squad coming from Dictators as they manage to get themselves the booyah right on top of Wasp and all the other members from this end. That was an intense fight. That was hands down a very intense game coming in from all of these members. I definitely have got to say the members from the side of Dictators, they were just dominating right off the start, right? From the start all the way to the end. They have a very good idea, and this is definitely going to be helping them to skyrocket their points, right? They are understandably going to get a huge amount of points. I would say based on the previous game 1 to game 2. Okay, so they have a total of maybe about 15 kill points. 15 plus about 12. So we should be expecting around 27 points. Maybe somewhere around there when it comes down to game number 2. But when it comes to the game number 1, I'm not exactly sure where they're getting. So I'm getting a ballpark of around 35 points for the side of Dictators. So we should be able to get a pretty good score out of the members from the side of Dictators. But for now, chat back in, over to the highlights. And there we go. That is the fight that we managed to see. And of course, that gives us a very good idea of how game number 2 have went down. Do note that, of course, when it comes down to the scoreboard and the leaderboards, it will be reflected once we go off for a short little break. So once we have the break, you guys will be able to get a very good idea. But when it comes down to power rankings, we should have a rough idea what... We just have a strong pointers on them. And eventually, that is what Dictators are working themselves towards. Dictators, they are looking strong. Absolutely strong. Whatever that we're going to be expecting from here. Othman, Dictators. They're playing right around the grass. But Othman only left with a total of 5 HP. This guy is having a couple of difficulties right now. But eventually he should be able to find himself in a pretty darn good spot, I would gotta have to say. A 7 armor and hip hop. They did manage to get themselves a lot of kills. They racked up a ton of them. But yet, doesn't seem like things are gonna be working very well for them, unfortunately.
Killing spree.
7 armor. Legend Max.
Unstoppable.
This is absolutely insane. Legend Max have got a total of 11 kills already, with 10 more squads in the lobby. Dictators, even though they are at the top of the leaderboards right now, this is not looking good for them at all. They're working their way. Miracles have gotten themselves right out of Snowfall, which is a very good idea. They really gotta have to get themselves out of there as fast as they can, as much as they can. If not, things are definitely not gonna be working out for them that well. Eventually, how they're gonna be working around with this. We have quite a lot to work around with over here. As the members from Stars DZ. All 4 of them are still up and running. They're still looking to be pretty darn good. They have 4 kills in total. Still working out to be pretty darn strong as well. Every single one of these members are getting in. Just moving in as much as they can.
Double kill.
As Stars pretty much gonna be expecting Lakomora. We haven't seen a lot from them, but in Alpine, it kind of seems as though they're they're going at a pretty decent rate at this point in time. At this moment, Wask, they still have all 4 members to be pretty high and strong as well. As M4zen, together with Hip Hop, 7 Armor, M9, they are all just working along with one another. With a huge amount of kills like this, they just want to be strong. They just want to get themselves the booyah. As long as they are able to stay a little bit longer alive, that will mean a lot. It's all about staying alive at this point in time, not necessarily all about getting themselves a kill. They already got a huge amount of kills, and as long as they stay alive, the last few parts of the circle, they are bound to kill. Staying safe, getting themselves everything. That's what we want. But Legend Max, they have lost Mason already. Ali on the other hand, from the side of Wasp. Oh! That's what I'm talking about when it comes down to Wasp. One fell swoop. Dowley and Zyzox, they knew what they wanted to do and immediately brought down the opponents. Legend Max, yes, they may have a lot of kills, yes. But unfortunately, if they can't make themselves back in to the top 1, if they can't get themselves the booyah, it is all for naught. They knocked themselves out at 10th place. 10th place only gives them a total of 1 placement points. As such, they have only gotten themselves a total of 12 points for this round. That's a big hit. That's an absolutely massive hit. Not a lot of progression we're looking at this point in time. Progression is looking to be tough. As Karam as well as Area goes up into a contact fight against one another. Dictators, they're still pretty much alive, but Yasir is not gonna stay alive for long. He finds himself knocked down, but one of the other members from the side of the Dictator is just gonna be working his way out of the fight. And now LCM, they're not able to hold their ground for long enough as well. Alpha hiding themselves within the vicinity. This is eventually going to give them a heal coming in from Stars DZ. They are your winners in game 1. Game number 2, not necessarily. They found themselves lacking a little bit, but now look at them. Just look at them. A total of 14 kills, and they are on a high road to victory. They're not even going to be putting much care in the world for what is about to happen. As Olympia finds himself knocked down, Savage finds himself knocked down as well. And there we have it. We've got an amazing game coming from Stars DZ once again. And they've gotten themselves the booyah for game number 3. So, all in all, great games. Star ZZ. Game 1 and Game 3 was absolutely amazing. Nothing short of anything. But Game 2? Game 2, that is where, problems starts to arise. So, honestly, I'm very surprised as to how things turned out. Alright? But in the meantime, now that the game has ended, I'm going to be restarting the stream just for a quick little bit. And once I'm back, I will hope that the graphics and I hope that the stream will be a lot better. So give me a while. I'll be right back with you guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in for game number 4. Definitely starting to get the game started and rolling like amazing. It's been a very long time actually since I really gotten my hands onto Freefire. As such, it is actually a surprise that I'm looking at this map because I want to be real with you guys. I have absolutely no idea what this map is. I am absolutely dumbfounded as to what this is. I suppose that this is starting to seem like new maps that are joining into the game. It's not Kalahari. It's not. This is Nextera. I would assume that this is Nextera. Okay. So this is amazing. We're starting to get more maps joining into the game. And what seems like we are looking out here is an unnamed part of the map. Unfortunately, I don't have much of how Nextera have when it comes down to the locations. But let me just make a quick little check and quick little understanding as to where Nextera really is and what are the things going on in Nextera. All right. So with that all said and done, the members from the Side of Miracles, they are just working themselves along. Kind of seems as though they have managed to find dictators. Dictators just going to be working their way down onto Amanos. And this is starting to look pretty darn nutty. With a quick little win, quick little kill right off the bat. Miracles have already gotten themselves a single kill here. We have, oh, Intellect Center. So that was what and where they were at. The Intellect Center is what is going on previously. As now Zizox is pretty much going to be working his way as well. As Bingo as well is doing an amazing job so far together with the rest of the members from the side of Wasp. Dowley, Zizox, Genius, Bingo, all four of them are absolutely amazing players. But unfortunately, it kind of seems as though Stars DZ, this team, is looking to be extremely strong. This team have got a very good idea as to what they want to do. At this moment in time, the Booyah states that Stars DZ is all the way at the start, all the way at the top of the leaderboards, and their game number 3 ought to bring them into a very good point, a very good start. I don't doubt that they will be one of the first few teams to win. It kind of seems as though they are going to be one of the favorites to move in to win today's games. Understandably, a really strong team. As we look forward from this point onwards, it's going to be working their way through. It's now Legend Max, unfortunately. It kind of seems as though he's going to be the last member remaining. Doesn't really have a lot to work around with right now. It's not going to be working well. But eventually, perhaps, they'll be able to play their hearts out. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies as a couple of technical difficulties have went down over on my side. I sincerely apologize. Unfortunately, we have lost footage of quite a bit of games coming in. I believe that we have lost the game number 4 and game number 5, but I am glad to be able to come back in for the final match in this Free Fire Superstar 2023. As now we move on to the final part of the series, to the final chapter of it all. So far, even I myself am in a daze, and I am not necessarily too sure of what is the scoreline at this point in time. But of course, this is definitely going to be quite a bit of a surprise for me. I would gotta have to say, this surprise gonna have to, dictate quite a bit. I gotta have to say, dictators, they are probably, it's either gonna be dictators or it is going to be which is the other team again? Savages? No. Dictators, right? Dictators is one of the teams that we gotta have to look out for. Stars DZ, yes, Stars DZ is one of the other teams that we understandably gotta have to look out for. So far, Stars DZ, they are strong. And I don't necessarily know how strong they are already. I do not have the footage as to how they fared for game number 4, game number 5. If I remember correctly, game number 3 was won by Stars DZ as well as game number 1. So, so on and so forth. I believe that Stars DZ is probably gonna be one of the teams that is going to be ranked up in first place, followed by maybe perhaps Dictators. Well, from this point onwards, we're just going to be watching down onto Stars DZ and look at how they're going to be faring against the other enemies here. As we've got Stars DZ just going to be opening up and of course having contact with another team at this point in time. This is a clean
Double kill.
Unfortunately, just a little bit tough on our side. But, you know, we're going to have to ride it on and, of course, tide through the shortcomings of the internet connection. Once again, I sincerely apologize for the awkwardness of the broadcast that I'm bringing out today. Is unforeseen circumstances, but as it is for now, you know, I'm just gonna go through things a little bit here and there whenever, as much as possible. Whenever we have the content, I will talk about the content. Otherwise, we will talk about maybe perhaps the overall standings, perhaps a little bit of the understanding of the couple of teams here and there. But for now, you know, we probably can have a little bit of understanding from the side of Alpha, right? Alpha is going to be having a quick little fight over at the southern part of the newer circle, but this is where we gotta have to look out for where they are gatekeeping, because you can pretty much find out that they are gatekeeping the further southern portion of the current map. We do have about 2 or 3 teams down below, right? 1 blue, 1 brown, and 1 pink. So as much as possible, they gotta have to watch out for all the teams that is going to be moving up south. It's understandable that some of these teams will want to play around the circumference and want to head over to the eastern part of the new circle instead. Definitely. When it comes down to the southern part being gate capped, you wouldn't want to run straight into the faces of the enemies, as that is understandably going to be really tough to work around with. As for now, La Comoda, they do have a total of 3 kills, and they are definitely one of the few teams that have been gate capped. So as much as possible, they're just going to be moving their way up to the northern side and just going to be working their way through and through. Larry doesn't seem like he's going to be working very well in this case. Well, Ninja is going to be opening things up against the opponent's side and trying to see what he can possibly do at this point on forward. La Comoda, I do want to find out how they have fared so far in the entire series of Free Fire Superstars 2023 though. Do absolutely love the team name as well as the logo. The gentleman style, if I may. Dictators has been knocked out at 10th place. That may potentially be a very big threat. It could be a very big deal to whatever that is going to be happening over to their side. I'm not exactly too sure if whether they are going to be having much problems when it comes down to this final score, if whether this final score is going to bring them up or perhaps going to bring them down. Every single one of these games is understandably going to be very important to be played, and as long as they are able to work their way through, it is absolutely going to be super important. As we move on over to Gutsy from the side of Alpha, they're just going to be moving their way onwards and of course gatekeeping the southern portion. With the storm moving right in, it does seem as though our members from the side of Nagasaki is going to be having a tad little bit of trouble. Stars DC is having a bit of a trouble from themselves as well, as they're just going to be moving down south and below of the ridge. Running themselves away as far as possible is understandably going to be the best cause of concern. While Wask is not going to be giving up chase, as we have got Bingo that's going to be immediately making his way right into the face of the final Stars DZ member. Legend Max is going to unfortunately have an untimely ending to their game as well. As we clock in 12 minutes into the game with 7 teams remaining, Legends Max, they definitely have got their a few flashes of brilliances every now and then, but unfortunately this run and this game is not exactly the run that we are going to be looking out for. Wask, they have a total of 8 kills to their name. Yes, they perhaps have already lost a single member from their side, but I don't think that is going to be stopping them anytime soon. Bingo may be out. However, they can always buy Bingo back into the game, especially since we do have Zazox and Ali. Both of them are definitely a strong player, but Dowley is actually not playing at this point in time. Dowley is, of course, one of the few core support players from the side of Wask. Constantly is the one that go around to really bring his teammates back into the game whenever possible. So I gotta have to say, it's just gonna be working things pretty darn nicely. Now, Gazi just gonna be heading himself over to the southern part of the new circle. They don't have much of a vehicles to work around with. But eventually, it kind of seems as though the rocketing from the side of Alpha is going to be quite a menace over to our boys over from the side of Nagasaki, with one of them immediately going down after Abo and friends immediately jump and jetpacked their way through, almost pretty much like a bazooka themselves, as they have managed to take control of this entire building all for themselves. A quick little rundown and of course a quick little breach into this house understandably has managed to make things work out for them tremendously. It's now Pixel hiding behind one of the trees. These pine trees are understandably going to make a very good job for them. But Larry from the side of Nagasaki Esports is going to be taken down. It's just going to be left with ZH7 as well as Monster. The two of them is now left. But it shouldn't be too big of a problem to bring his fellow other friend back into the game as well. As Ali. They're moving on in with a double-barrel shotgun. Was hoping that he will be able to bring one of the opponents down. It does seem as though they did manage to successfully do that. And now Police is going to fall prey to the hands of Wask. And five teams is going to be left from this part of the game. Wask has got a total of 10 kills onto their hands. Alpha have got a total of 12 kills onto their hands. They are definitely going to be dominating throughout the entirety of this game. Nagasaki Esports is going to find their untimely demise from this point onwards, while Ram is just going to be preparing himself with his shotgun. But it doesn't seem like he's able to do quite much, as the rifle is just going to be gunning him down as soon as possible. The charged rifle is understandably a strong gun, but of course, if it's unable to be used well, you won't be able to reap much rewards out of it. Ali, at the top of the bridge, working his way down over to the opponents. Zizok and friends, they're just going to be having that huge landscape all for themselves. Ali with a total of with a quarter kill onto himself. This guy is going mayhem. He's not going to be stopping anytime, and they're just going to be raining bullets and raining lead right over down to their opponents, and they're not going to be stopping anytime soon. Alpha and Zizok, they're just working their ways. Wask is definitely going to be at the top of the leaderboard right now, at least for this game. The amount of kills that they are raking in is absolutely insane. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the game done and dusted. It does seem as though Wask is not the one that managed to get themselves a win, but instead, it is Alpha. They've gotten themselves the booyah for this final game. Congratulations over to them. They have managed to done a tremendous job on top of that, and whatever it is, they have got it working. And I gotta have to say, it is absolutely amazing. In short of all of that, all in all, I just want to say that all 6 games would have been absolutely phenomenal. I would love to be able to watch every single one of those games, but it doesn't seem like things are working to my side very nicely today, and I sincerely apologize to everyone due to the technical errors going on. But well, we still do have the highlights coming out for the final game. So I will be looking forward to see how that highlight is going to look like once we have the footage to run right through. So regardless of all of that, thank you so much to every single one of you guys for tuning in. I hope that you guys thoroughly enjoyed what I have been managed to bring up over to you guys. Hopefully from game 1 over to game 3, there was of course some good bits of tidbits over to you guys. But Alpha, definitely not the team that I was expecting to be able to get themselves the win. Not gonna lie, I was expecting the Wasp was able to. They did manage to have a very big name for themselves, and they have a very strong influence when it comes down to the MEA regions. So I suppose that, and I thought that they would have been able to come up on top of all of that. But I guess that I was slightly blindsided by the intensity of Wask as well as Nagasaki Esports. It does seem as though there are a lot more stronger contenders out there. We've got Dictators, we've also got Stars DZ. They are all absolutely strong individuals, strong team that knows what they are doing and how they would want to play into this game. So without further ado, I suppose that this is the time that we will be crowning the champions when it comes down to the Free Fire Superstar. Who is going to be the one to come up on top, and who's going to be going back home with the $5,000? That is big. That is the big thing. I do want to find out exactly who. Is this going to be Star DZ? Is it going to be Dictators? Dictators did get knocked down in 10th place though, mind you. So the chances of them getting themselves to 10th place may actually be relatively low. I do want to hold my hopes up for that though, but not really too sure about how that is eventually going to be working towards their ways. Well, either ways, I realized that my wardrobe is open. I was actually drinking coffee, and I actually spilled it upon all over myself. I had to grab a change of clothes, and my white shirt was actually stained. But luckily, I'm home, so I could get onto it as soon as I can. But yeah, don't mind the background for a little bit. In fact, yeah, the background thing is not gonna be much of a problem, I suppose. I suppose we can have a quick little fun, just crop that out for a quick little bit. Boom. No more of that background, I suppose. But I do want to show you guys this. All right. Grab your keys, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your keys. Head on over to redeem.garena.freefire redeem.ff.garena.com, right? Reward, or was it reward? Reward.ff.garena.com. Okay, I can't exactly go into the page. I'm too laggy. My internet speed is a little bit too bad at this point in time. I can't access the web as well. So I can give you a final. I believe it's reward.ff.garena.com. Yeah, it is reward.ff.garena.com to redeem your code. So make sure you guys go over and redeem the code. That is for sticking with me and sticking with us all the way through from the start over to the end and such. We're just going to be looking at the highlights real quick with this booyah from Alpha. And of course, here we go. That is the end, and of course, the highlight that fully encompasses the entire part of game number 6. I'm just waiting for the finalized results as to which is the team that would eventually make their way forward. And of course, we'll be heading over to the Free Fire Southeast Asia Invitational. That is understandably going to be the main thing that everyone is looking out for, with their teeth clenched and their hands, palms completely clenched, waiting for the perfect moment, and of course, waiting to find out which is the team that will be heading on forward. Do note that, of course, all the teams that played today, they have played absolutely their hearts out. Of course, a quick little rundown as to the prize pool, right? $5,000 to the first place team. $5,000 to the first place team, 3,000 USD to the second place team, as well as the $1,500 for the third place team, followed by $700 for the fourth and the fifth, $500 for sixth and the seventh, and of course $200 from the eighth onwards. And of course, that means that every single one of these teams that head into the game will head into today's Free Fire Superstar 2023 are guaranteed a payout. And every time a team have gotten themselves the MVP, or every player they have gotten themselves the MVP will be able to get an additional 100 USD on top of the amount that they are getting for themselves. Do know that this is, of course, gonna be, technically speaking, a one-shot wonder, we're gonna have to say, because only the first place team will head over to the Southeast Asia Invitational, which will be starting on on 12th of January, February, March, April, May. 12th May. It will be starting on 12th May in Thailand. So as much as possible, we already have a couple of teams that have already been confirmed. We have Team Flash, SBTC Esports, P Esports, and Eagle Esports that will be participating in the C Esports, while we still are waiting for some of the other teams coming in for the Masters League. As for the rest, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this is the case. We've got our champions. Alpha. This should be the winner scene. I believe this is the winner scene. The winner of the entirety of the Free Fire Superstar is Alpha. They have been quiet all the way. Absolutely quiet all the way. Completely dethroned Stars DZ. Completely dethroned. What is it again? Dictators. They did manage to show how strong they were in the Division 1 standings. Take a look at this. Stars DZ weren't that high up, and so were Dictators. Alpha is at 95 points. They have been consistent when it comes down to their placements. 46 points in placements, a single booyah to their name, and a total of 39 kills. Wask, second place, will be going back home with a total of 3,000. Is it 3,000? I forgot. 3,000 US dollars. They have been consistent, and remember how I said in the first game and the second game, they have been very consistent time and time again. As for third place, we'll be going over to Stars DZ, getting themselves the 2 booyahs, which is in Game 1 and Game 3. Game 2 wasn't really that good at all. I believe that they got knocked out at like 10th place or something along those lines. So consistency is definitely a very big thing. Dictators comes in at 4th place with $700. So honestly, that is an